YouTube? Chadwick here, in the Auto Obsessive Garage. Behind me, my 93 Acura NSX. I want to take a moment and kind of fill you in on the interesting story on how I came to acquire this particular car. So let me start off by saying yes, my personal collection of Magic the Gathering cards paid for the majority of this car. It's crazy, right? So to fill you guys in that might not be in the know, I know you guys are car nerds and those guys are other nerds that play those kind of games, but there is a lot of parallelism there between the two types of nerds we're going to cover today. So we're going to go back to the mid-90s, recap why I got into the game, why I came to collect so many cards. Let's fill you guys in that aren't in the know on Magic the Gathering. So it's a collectible card game, came out in '93. Very popular right from the get-go. It's just a game where you collect these cardboard cards, just like you used to do with the old sports cards back in the day, except you built competitive decks. I really don't want to go into Magic the Gathering. This is the wrong channel for that. But anyway, let's just suffice to say, a very nerdy game, very fun game. I really love the game, still love it. Even though I don't have my collection anymore, it's still nothing but love for the game. So I played for over 20 years, collected for over 20 years, and that's a long time to do anything in this life, right? I'll take you back to the mid-90s. That's when I really got into the game. Pretty much a couple years after it came out, I caught wind of it, played a few games, I was hooked. Your real friends are the ones that let you try a very addictive thing for the first time. Playing a lot back then, mid-90s, nerdy, nothing's changed. I was in high school. We would just regularly get together with my friends, play all night. That didn't change really. Life got in the way. A lot of other stuff happened, but a constant in my life was Magic. Always played, always collected. I like collecting as much as I did playing. So amassing cards, winning tournaments, getting prizes, buying other people's collections. It goes on and on. That being said, the value of my collection was much, much more than I ever paid for the cards. So I was well ahead, more than most other investment opportunities, let's just say. So I just didn't have the time to play anymore. I had this massive collection taking up a huge amount of space, more on the actual size of the collection soon. But I had this massive collection just hanging out. I didn't have time to play it, and that kind of sucks. I would just buy the newest set, and put it in a binder, store it on a shelf, and that's not what the game was made for. Meanwhile, my garage was becoming my life. Any spare time, which is hard for anyone that's married, has kids. You know how it goes. So limited resources there, and I wanted to spend it working on cars. That's my new passion. It's not new. I've had this passion also. Jeez, going on nearly 20 years too. So I had to lose a hobby somewhere along the way, and it's sad, but we all have to. You have to come to grips with reality every once in a while. Looking around, and I know you guys are all the same way. If you're car obsessed like me, you're always checking Craigslist, you're always getting online, see what kind of deals you can get on the cars you're looking for. And I've always wanted an NSX. Everybody says it, but back to Gran Turismo time. You're playing, you've got the best modded GTR, you're taking the final lap, and all of a sudden you see that very distinctive Acura or Honda rear end zip by you of a mid-engine lightweight sports car. Every time, the NSX was sneaky like that. He didn't have as much power as me. How can he beat me? I have literally 600 horsepower. But that always happened and made me kind of lust after the car. It's very unique, very cool, but pretty much forged out of unobtainium, Back in the old days, the prices probably bottomed out. I think in the mid-2000s or like 2010 era, right after the economic bubble collapse, let's just say 2009, you could probably scoop a pretty good NSX for the mid-20s. That is not at all possible anymore. You're looking at a much higher price point, especially if you're looking for clean, not completely messed up, body clad, kitted out, salvage title, 300,000 mile examples. So you're gonna pay a little bit for a clean NSX. And for me, it was coming to grips with the idea that I needed to sell my Magic collection. It wasn't an easy decision, I can tell you that. These weren't just items. This wasn't like money in a bank account or stocks that I hadn't looked at, like long-term stocks. This was something I really was a big part of my life. I played a lot of good memories with friends and all that. So came to grips with it, put the collection up for sale. tons of interest, and ultimately ended up selling for about what I wanted to sell for, a little bit less. And in the meantime, I had already secured the NSX, because when you see a good deal on a car like that, you grab it. And my history of car buying is that. I know a good deal. I feel like I'm pretty in sync with the market. So when I saw the NSX listed in the condition it was listed, for the price it was listed at, immediately had to get it. Decided it was time to sell the Magic collection. Boom, NSX in the garage. The game room upstairs has empty bookshelves. So it was all about trading. I'm very happy with how it worked out in the end. I'm very happy with the car. It's a very awesome car. The individual that bought my collection is very happy. He got a great deal and he enjoys a very well sorted collection. To put it in perspective how large my collection was, I'm gonna give you some numbers. These two bookshelves that you've seen in the images, those were 8-foot tall IKEA bookshelves. I think there's 90 something binders. Those are 2.5 inch binders full of cards. So ultimately when I came to put everything together to ship out to the individual who purchased them, the total weight came to, I think it was nearly 500 pounds, so a quarter ton of pieces of cardboard, a quarter ton. So we had 8 boxes, each of them weighing over 60 pounds. So ridiculous, right? The sheer mass of it was just mind-boggling. Also, big hurt to the wallet as I underestimated shipping. Good thing to note moving forward, overestimate shipping, don't underestimate it. It was more than double. So it ended up being like, it was like $1,200 to ship. It was like the price of shipping a car across the country. Massive collection, but yeah, in the end, I've got a pretty sweet NSX that I otherwise wouldn't have had the means to just outright purchase. And you know, it all kind of worked out. Everything took place in the early and mid 90s. The cars I love, the card game I loved. So it was cool. It just came time to trade one hobby in, you know, downsize my hobbies and put some emphasis on this one. So very happy with how it turned out. Just wanted to share that story with you guys. It's not very often you hear someone purchasing a car, especially a pretty sought after car, with a collection of Magic cards. I just think it's pretty cool, pretty funny story. Great story I tell folks. All right, thanks again for tuning in, guys. I'm gonna, you know, follow this up with other interesting car buying stories. I purchase a lot of cars, I sell a lot of cars, I work on a lot of cars. So I'm gonna try to follow it up. I've got some other really cool, unique stories. Thanks for watching, guys. Of course, like, subscribe. I'm working on some other video ideas. Bear with me. I work around a lot of other stuff, but I'm trying to get a lot of content on the channel, and I hope you guys are liking it. Take care.